Hello and welcome to Silver Wheel Tarot. Today I'm going to do a reading from Animal Spirit Guides. So a message coming through from Animal Spirit Guides. I did go ahead and pull a card from the Feathered Omens deck. And the card that came through was Seagull with adjust behavior and communication. So with that, I did a little bit of meditation on communicating in general. And the things that I came up with were a reminder that communication is as much about listening as it is being heard. It is also about having confidence in what you are saying and coming from the heart, as well as a reminder that every interaction that you have with someone or even nature is a form of communication, whether you speak or not. There is body language, expressions. When you do speak, there is the sound of your voice, the volume, the tone of your voice. There is speaking from a space of authenticity. There is this sense of listening from the heart to really hear and understand what the other person is saying, whether you agree with them or not. So these are all things to consider as we go into the reading here. And also that the card could be telling us to not only pay attention to how we are communicating, but also to be open to communicating in different ways, as well as paying attention to how spirit or your guides, the universe, the divine, is communicating with you on a personal level. So are you receiving dreams? Are you seeing signs and synchronicities? Okay, are you hearing messages through songs? Things like that. So that is just kind of to lay a foundation of this sense of communication. Now, with the adjustment of behavior, I thought it would be fun to pull a card from this 100 Ink Animals Oracle Guide, Oracle deck here. So I do a lot of work with animal spirit guides, and one of the best ways, if you are in a situation like here with the card is saying to adjust behavior. So the area of communication might need some adjustment around the way that you are behaving, or it could be the perceived behavior, right? So you might think you're coming from a specific space, or someone speaking to you might be coming from a specific space or intention, and it may not be coming across that way on either side from either party. So what I like to do then is take a look at an animal energy that is best to emulate at this time. So with the guidance here from the Oracle saying to adjust behavior and communication, I want to see for us here, what is the best animal at this time to emulate? Snake, rebirth. Okay. The descriptions in the book are very short, so I'm going to go ahead and read that for you. Let's look that up here. And then we'll get into the tarot cards. All right, the upright keywords are rebirth, growth, evolving, continuous change towards a better state, rearranging something outdated. So this is telling me straight off that this message of adjusting behavior and communication is not a message of, whoa, hey, you are not doing something correctly, you should really switch this up. It is more that of growth and development, transformation, change, rebirth. It is time for you to up your communication game, to grow, to transform it into something better, a better version of yourself, a better version of communicating, a better version of hearing and speaking. It states here that this beautiful reptile is capable of shedding or molting. Snake will release their skin around 4 times a year. However, young snake goes through the shedding and molting as often as every 2 weeks until they have grown to their fullest adult length and size. Snake is a wonderful symbol of growth, development, and revival. Their molting process illustrates obvious physical change and symbolizes spiritual rebirth. Snake lets go of the past and emerges from their old skin as a fresh, improved version of their previous self. Emulate snake to shed old habits, limiting beliefs, or physical objects that are no longer parallel with who you've become. Leave the past behind in order to grow and evolve in your higher self. Beautiful. Okay, so perhaps we have some throat chakra activation here as well for some of you. Okay, let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards. So I want to know a general message first. We'll pull a few cards for that. And then I think I also want to know what we need to shed or let go of, what behaviors, what forms of communication. But let's start with the general message here. Some further information about this. What do we need to know, Spirit, about our communication? Let's pull 3 cards. Sire of Wands, 3 of Cups, 4 of Wands. This is beautiful. And the Fool. Oh, how beautiful is that? Great cards. I'll pull them each up so you can see. There's a little bit of a glare this afternoon, so these cards are shiny. So the Sire of Wands is going to be the King of Wands. Personal fire. We have 3 of Cups. Joy, togetherness, community. Maybe looking together as how we communicate as a whole in the community. 4 of Wands, coming together, a celebration. A lot of communication going on during celebrations. I'm getting a little bit more about this card here. It's a look at, in modern times, when we speak of community, we often are doing this online, right? Like this video here, I am communicating to you. When you receive the message, you are listening to that communication. Sometimes things online may be imparted in a certain way and received by others differently. So it's important to understand the environment that you're in, but I'm showing this as a very positive thing, that there is some very positive communication going on. So if you feel like you are getting messages through your online communities at this time, know that the messages are positive, that they are coming from the heart, that they are meant to help, not meant to degrade or put anyone down, right? Sometimes we can come from a space, and this comes into this adjusting behavior I'm getting, is that it's very easy to be self-critical self-judging, hard on yourself, even when you're in a space of listening to a communication online, say a reading, right? It could even be a meme or a video or something, that the framework from which we receive that information comes from the person listening or reading it or receiving it, in a sense that someone could put an image out or a reading and have it be meant to help someone, but the person receiving it might not take it that way, in a way, because perhaps there are old hurts, old letdowns, old traumas and wounds that need to be healed. So I'm hearing that what's coming up at this time is an ability to see things from other people's perspective in this behavior, to respond to communications rather than react. So allowing the whole message to come in, to let it sink in, to receive it, to try and understand where the other party is coming from, to see it from a different perspective. You don't necessarily have to agree with their perspective, but it's that level of respect and honor to truly hear from your heart space the messages being put forward, especially if it's something that you are putting your time forward to sit and listen to the communication. Okay, not sure why all that came through just now with this, but it was important for someone to hear. We also have the Fool. So this is a new beginning. I'm getting that this, again, for many of you, with the white rose there in the mouth, that this could be really a time where you begin to bloom as a person and communicate more and have more friends and have more community involvement. And so the spirit animals here are trying to really help you to be aware of how you communicate with people, because it is very important how you communicate. One, you want to make sure that the way that you're communicating is the way that it's intended, that the way you're intending to come across is coming across. You want to make sure that you're speaking from the heart, not necessarily just your mind. You want to really come from a heart-centered space. And likewise, as you begin to branch out on this new journey, this new path, this new you, and I'm really seeing this with the snake here, this rebirth, and the Fool card. This is a new beginning. So this really is spirit trying to say, okay, so maybe you haven't had a lot of communication in the recent past, a lot of people to commune with or communicate with or hang out with, or people giving you information that you're taking it all in and trying to learn something new, things like that, that it's important to remember that while you're all wrapped up in this brand new experience for you, that everyone around you is equal. So it doesn't matter if someone is a master at something and someone is a novice. Every human being is on the same level, in the sense that we are all equally valuable and important. And so from that point, it's important to not get so wrapped up in your new experience that you forget about the others around you. What are they saying? What are they communicating? What are their behaviors? And are they saying one thing, but their body language is telling you something else? That's important as well. Do you trust these new contacts that you have, these new, maybe you find a new reader that you like to listen to. Maybe you have heard gossip about them or something, and you're like trying to really judge if this is honest, heartfelt communication that you want to, spend your time listening to or not. So it's important to be aware of everything that is going around you at this time. And sometimes when people are coming out of a bit of a hermit mode, where not in a negative aspect, but where you've really just been spending a lot of time with yourself, working on you, doing the spiritual work, the self reflection, the growth, right? And also the Fool represents self-reflection, but we have this time of coming out of it with the snake here as well. This is a new beginning. It's a transformation. So as you come out of this period of hibernation, really this hermit energy, you can sometimes easily forget to pay attention to all the different signs around you, the communications. But with this Four of Wands here too, I'm seeing this as quite the accomplishment. Like, this is a celebrating time. This is a beautiful time that you are stepping out into. New friendships are coming up a lot in readings. I'm noticing, not just for my readings, but others as well. Meeting new people, new communities. It's a time of togetherness. So we're coming out of this time of being alone and coming into a time of togetherness. So, okay, let's find out a little bit deeper here. Let's find out, because I wanted to find out, what do we need to shed? What do we need to let go of with our old behaviors and communication? And then after that, we're going to look into what we can embrace, because I always believe in focusing on positive movement forward, right? Okay, so what can we shed at this time around the areas of communication? The Emperor, the Eight of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. Three of Wands. So as we are looking into the future, moving forward, this is what we need to let go of. Definitely getting a strong sense of any insecurities here with the Eight of Swords. That need for confidence, like I was saying at the beginning of the reading, that communication is also a lot of it. In order to master it is coming from the heart, but also having that confidence in coming from the heart space. So the insecurities around communicating. So this is just reminding me, and I'll share with you all, is that, again, it's very easy when you've grown through something and healed from it, or leveled up to a new level in something, to still remember the way things were. So I'm getting a strong sense of a need to let go of that perspective of how things were. So one of my challenges has been in the past in communicating, in coming across in a way that is received the way that I intended. This is something that I have had to spend much time working on. I mean, I'm a Sagittarius sign. I can be quite blunt at times, and it has been a lot of work for me to work through that over the years. And so it is reminding me of feelings I have had in the past as embarking on something new and having these thoughts come up that are not really from a space of confidence, but it's based on old hurts. And it's important, what this card is saying is that it's really important to learn how to let that go and to really embrace the wins that you have had throughout your growth experience in the areas of communication. I'm feeling with this Emperor here that it is important to let go also of the past in a way that we have the Fool coming in, that this is a complete paradigm shift in a way. You are completely shifting and changing, and in order to do that, so the Emperor, to me, you have to let go of it. The Emperor to me here is representing this accomplishment of someone going through a complete cycle and overseeing their entire kingdom. This is like masculine, divine masculine energy at its peak, right? Having gone through all these experiences and lessons and learning, and then being at the top of your game in that area. Well, you've got to be willing to let go of that without the insecurities, right? You've got to let go of the insecurities and have confidence moving forward. Don't base your anticipation of new experiences based on past hurts, past pains, past troubled communication with others, and also let go of the entire thing. You've got to step into this Fool energy. You've got to let go of this entire kingdom here that you created. Only take with you, in the traditional Fools, he's just carrying like a little stick with a bag on it. You only take with you the positive lessons that you've learned from your last cycle of going from Fool all the way through to developing a whole kingdom, a life, an experience, a way of being, a career, a relationship, whatever it is that you are really focused in your communication on. Those past experiences, you take the lessons learned with you, but you have to completely let go of that narrative, of that story, of that entire that entire existence, as if it was a storybook, right? Close the book on that old chapter. You've got to move forward. You've got to let it go. Be willing to look at things with confidence, but from the perspective of a novice, okay? Have confidence in who you are, in your ability to communicate clearly and wisely, but at the same time acknowledging that you're not the Emperor right now. This is a new experience for you you're embarking on. You're leveling up. So when you level up, when you go to a new level and you've learned something new, even going from, say, having a mundane job, right? And then being promoted to a manager. So before you get promoted, you're already at the top of your game, okay? And already most likely performing managerial style communication and skills. But then you get promoted to, say, a manager, and it's a whole new ball game. It is not the same job you had before. It is completely different. You take all those skills and knowledge and lessons and forms of communicating that you have learned over time with you, but you're new. So you want to make sure that you're remembering that when you're communicating with others. And that brings us full circle actually back around to to that sense of being aware of others around you. You can be very excited, full of anticipation and joy for this new beginning, and feeling so confident in yourself that you could come across to others sometimes as though, even though you're in the Fool position, you can come across like you think you're in the Emperor position. This is a very common thing. We see it a lot in different areas of life, where sometimes too the novice's enthusiasm and confidence, which is needed, is viewed as arrogance when it's not. So there's that to be aware of as well. Make sure that you truly aren't being arrogant in a new lesson, a new area, but it is good and right for you to have confidence. And for those who are excelling in an area where new people are coming into it, it is important to have that space from the heart to really acknowledge where they are and that you've been there as well. With the Queen of Swords here, this letting go, it's the letting go of the ownership and the sorrows of the mind, the carrying of that burden, the responsibility of holding on to the thoughts of the past. While this Emperor here is top of the game, ruling this old experience that you have moved on from, and the Eight of Swords here is saying to have confidence and let go of the insecurities that were those insecurities that you've already grown through in this past, and you're only bringing the positive with you. This is also a reminder here that it is okay to let go of the old hurts and pains, the things you felt you had to shoulder, the responsibility of the feeling like you need to carry the burden of the pain aspects of these past traumas that you have grown through. Okay, she has bust that egg open. She is releasing the butterflies here. She is surrendering to this new sun that is rising in the distance, while she is honoring with these flowers here at the same time the past. So there is a way to honor what you have been through without constantly keeping yourself living in it in your mind. When you do that, it does not actually help you excel in the areas that you are trying to grow. Honor what you've been through, respect it, but don't feel that it is a weight or a burden that you need to keep on your shoulders and carry with you. It is time to release it and let it go. It's no one's burden at this point. You let it go. It's not your burden. It's not people who have hurt you in the past that you've grown through in the areas of, communicating, maybe arguments or lack of understanding. It's not their fault. It's not your fault. Everything happens the way it needs to for every individual to grow and learn. Okay? And so it's no one's burden. When you release it, it is released. It can go back into the earth and be transformed into something new. So let go of the burden. Let go of the insecurities. Let go of the old story. Okay, so let us find what we can embrace at this time with our communication and behaviors with others in community, because we have some positive energies coming in with that Three of Cups and the Four of Wands and the King of Wands and the Fool. I mean, this is, and the Snake, all of this. It's really beautiful energy coming in for you. But it is important to acknowledge what to let go of so that we can face it from a very positive, hopeful perspective instead of one of self-condemning of what did I do wrong type of energy. You don't want to bring that with you. We want to move forward in light and positivity and love and from a heart-centered space. Okay, so what can we focus on? Embrace and focus on. I feel like pulling 4 cards, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Ace of Swords, new perspective, new beginning. The Hermit. So while I was speaking earlier of coming out of a time of the Hermit, it's also a time coming full circle to embrace your inner knowing, what you've learned from it. But interesting. So I'm getting this feeling of there's a deeper level in the Hermit that is represented in this card. Most of the time, it is thought of as Hermit as going inward, solitary, self review, and really just isolation in a way, not in a negative way, but in working on yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. You're kind of going inward. I'm getting a beautiful sense from this card that through this new cycle with your communication and behavior, you are going to learn how to hold that inner space of the Hermit while you are at the same time simultaneously expressing yourself outwardly to the world and communicating with others and being involved with friends and community and family and just getting out there and doing things. You're going to be able to hold that inner light while at the same time, like the reflection of the moon, the light from the moon comes from a reflection of the sun's light shining off the moon. So it's like that. It's like this, holding the space for this deep inner knowing and self-confidence and assuredness, knowing who you are and coming from a heart-centered space always. I mean, none of us are perfect, so there will be times, but in general, an overall sense of holding that sacredness of the Hermit inside you as you are reflecting your light outward to the world and actually being more involved with community. So embrace that. Honestly, that's not a way that I have seen the Hermit card before. This is a new perspective for me. And then coming in with the Ace of Swords here is that there is a way to simultaneously be both. You are incorporating multiple aspects of yourself into one and shining your light at this time as you activate your voice to stay connected to your heart space, the heart of a hermit, while shining your light outward. That's beautiful. And we have the Six of Wands. Again, a time of recognition and celebration. Embrace this beautiful experience. And I love how both of these cards are kind of falling on that Eight of Swords behind it of what to let go of. Move forward in confidence. Keep your thoughts positive. Come from a genuine space when you communicate, whether that is through your body language, how you hold yourself, your hand gestures, your tone of voice, everything. Hold confidence in that as you move forward. And from a humble space, receive the acknowledgement from others of really this congratulation of having arrived to this point, because it is quite the accomplishment in the area of expressing yourself, to really be able to communicate well with others while you're also communicating well with yourself on the inside. I'm really getting a sense of humbleness here through also having a sense of recognition. So again, coming back to this being humbled, embrace. Okay, I get it now. So embrace this humbleness of that you're no longer the emperor, this position you're in the fool position here, coming into this new beginning. But I don't know how to express it right now. It's a very strong sense of humbleness in the recognition and acknowledgement of having arrived at this level. So we'll leave it at that for now. Let's see here. And we have the High Priestess. Beautiful. Yes. So your energies at this time are much more focused with this moon here, the intuition, the inner hermit of the heart as you express yourself outward in this new perspective. You are working on developing this High Priestess energy. So as you let go of the Emperor energy of the past, your focus and development now, the goal, what you're moving towards here, is this beautiful High Priestess energy, which is a ruling energy in her own right, not like ruling over a kingdom, but ruling over the self, the inner world, the thoughts. How are you communicating with yourself and your thoughts, right? This developing this leadership role over yourself, your own emotions. You communicate to yourself through emotions. You communicate to yourself through thoughts. You communicate to yourself, whether you realize it or not, in how well you take care of yourself, how you hold yourself, self-worth, self-value. These are very important things. So the Hermit is going to be helping you with this as you hold on to these new perspectives and some excitement for this new level of communicating. You are now focusing on developing the inner communication with yourself. And in doing this, your light shines brightly to the outer world as well. And again, just a reminder to be aware of how and when you are communicating and being perceived by others, and to listen deeply from the heart, to respond rather than react. And that is going to really help you through this transitional period. Overall, beautiful message. So I hope you all found that helpful in some way. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, I am truly grateful. Be blessed, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.